When female killers coldly plan their murders, quietly plotting, like an animal stalking its prey, they become predators. Insatiable greed turns a young woman into a systematic killer.
Anna was a very dangerous woman. Nobody that was around her was really safe.
The friendly lady next door has a backyard full of bodies.
She was a very calculated individual, and she was also a very audacious individual.
On the highways of Florida, a lone woman stalks random victims.
These are very atrocious murders. They had been shot multiple times.
She's Aileen Wuornos, known as the Monster. These are deadly women. They live among us undetected as they hunt their victims. They are predators. Of all America's deadly women, there is one who stands out.
Aileen Wuornos was the first female predatory killer that the FBI had ever seen. Female predatory killers are very rare.
She becomes known as the Monster for a reason.
To actually go out and kill strangers, I think that it's enormously frightening to men. The idea of being with a woman who suddenly can do that is quite frightening.
Aileen Wuornos works as a prostitute, plying her trade on the highways of Florida. The endless parade of vehicles provides plenty of opportunities and plenty of risk.
It's a very dangerous profession. You're only one trick away from getting robbed, raped, killed.
No one knows how often Wuornos herself was a victim. But in the winter of 1989, she turns the tables and starts a killing spree that stuns the nation.
What do you want from me? Please, lady, just let me go.
Shut up!
Oh, please, let me go, lady.
This is where we found the body. He was just a few feet off this paved road into this cul-de-sac.
Homicide detective David Taylor was called to one of the murder scenes. It's one of many. Aileen will kill 7 men before she's caught.
When you have someone shot multiple times, you're looking at some highly charged emotional stage. You're looking at a lot of hate and some revenge. A lot of people may use the term overkill.
Aileen's victims were shot multiple times with a .22 caliber pistol. They are robbed of their money and their cars.
I came to believe, over a period of time, that each of the murders was precipitated by something that triggered enormous fear of abandonment in Aileen.
Writer Sue Russell has studied Aileen's crimes like few others. While the media have speculated Aileen killed because she hated men, Sue thinks her main motive was very different.
She killed when she felt desperately under threat and stress. Her fears of abandonment went off the scale through the roof.
In her early 30s, Aileen is in a long-term relationship with Tyria Moore.
In the case of most of these killings, there was money, the men had money, and according to Ty, she would come home with this money and she would wave it around and say, we're gonna party, we're gonna have a good time now.
The proceeds of murder become Aileen's insurance policy. Scared of losing Ty to other women, Aileen uses the money to keep her affections.
I think she thought that she could buy Ty's continuing presence in her life. What had always been her modus operandi, to try to buy friendships, buy love, buy people in her life. Very sad, really, when you think about it.
Aileen, the monster, has been buying attention for a long time. After being abandoned by her parents and going to live with her grandparents, she craves it.
There was allegations of sexual activities and sexual abuse. If you start from the time that she was just a young child, she just didn't really get that fair shake in life.
Children that suffer maternal deprivation in their early years, the chances of them having something profoundly wrong in adult life is great. It's probably 35 to 40%.
Even before she reaches her teens, Aileen is on her own, living rough in the woods, where she learns dangerous habits of survival.
By 11 or 12, she was taking money for sex.
She became pregnant as a very young child. She was actually given up to a home for unwed mothers.
She was thrown out of the house, essentially. So she was on her own at a very early age.
A young Aileen uses what she knows. She sells her body to survive.
And that's when the neighborhood there started taunting her, you know, saying, well, you're nothing but a hoe and stuff like that.
Shut up!
She went off on everyone, you know, and they went off right back at her.
Dawn Botkins was there in the early years. She was one of Eileen's few friends.
She just wanted to be part of everything with everyone, just sit and drink and smoke.
Wake up!
And be happy and listen to the music. They just would never give her a chance, and I just don't know why.
The monster is shunned and ridiculed. The more she's hurt, the more she strikes back.
She had this explosive temper,
I'll kill you!
which made her extremely difficult to be around and made friendships very difficult.
But in the years to come, Aileen will find the love of her life, the answer to her happiness. But to keep her, she'll stalk the Florida highways and use the weapons she's honed to perfection, her body and her rage. Aileen Wuornos has been a prostitute for more than 20 years. In 1989, she's working the highways of Florida, risking assault to make a living. But now she's found a more lucrative activity: murder.
So she was a robber who killed. She said in her confession that she did not want to leave any witnesses.
The money is a show of affection for Eileen's long-term partner, Tyria Moore.
She clung to what she knew, which was, let's try and buy the continuing presence of this person. Let's try and buy the love. Let's try and keep them in my life. The only way she knew how to do it.
But after each murder, the money inevitably runs out. And in Eileen's mind, there's a chance she'll lose Ty. She needs to kill again.
Aileen is not really the classic predator in that it doesn't appear that she would stalk her victims. And she didn't kill every John that she serviced as a prostitute. She killed one here, she'd see a few other men.
When she does kill, Aileen takes no chances.
These are very atrocious murders. These were males, some were much larger than her. They had been shot multiple times. You have one victim that was shot 9 times. Tremendous rage.
This ferocity suggests something to criminal profiler Candice DeLong. The killings may have also been driven by something more than money.
There has to be more than that to take a life. I think for Aileen, at some point, she enjoyed it. She didn't need to kill these people to get what she wanted. And that's probably because she felt fine doing it. She had no sense of remorse.
After each murder, more tragedy, as families wait for loved ones who never come home.
You can see the pride that I have being next to him.
Letha Prater is the sister of Eileen's 4th victim, Troy Barres. He wasn't even a customer. He just stopped to give Aileen a lift.
His wife called me about, I guess, 10 o'clock and said, Troy hasn't come home yet. And it's not like him not to come home or call. And I hung up the phone and I just knew it was bad. We looked and everything that we could possibly think of, but we didn't go down that little road where he was found.
Barres had been shot twice, once in the back and once in the chest.
All these years have gone by that I haven't had him and had his company and had his friendship. It caused my mother to die earlier than her time. He was her baby and she couldn't handle the thought that she had to bury her child. People say it gets better. Didn't get better for her, it got worse.
By now, police suspect a connection between a string of highway murders. Their break came from a small traffic accident Aileen and Tyria had in a car stolen from one of the victims.
We reference back to a case that occurred in 1990 in this county. That involved a motor vehicle that had wrecked. 2 females were seen leaving that vehicle.
That lead took them to Daytona Beach, where Aileen Wuornos was already known to local detectives.
This detective says, hey, I've seen the composites. I think that there could be 2 females from my jurisdiction.
The trail ended at a local biker bar, the last resort. Cannonball was a bartender who knew Aileen.
She said, my name is Lee and this is my girlfriend Ty, and we're gay. And I said, well, my name's Cannonball and I don't care. Pay for your drinks, don't cause me no trouble, and everything will be good.
But the net is closing in on Aileen. Undercover officers eventually arrest her right outside the Last Resort bar.
The day she got arrested, she made the 8 on the break, which means you win a pool game in 1 shot. That's a pretty lucky thing. I guess it run out after that, though.
Police hold her in the Volusia County Jail on a minor charge. But they need more evidence to convict her of murder. So they play their trump card.
I don't think that Aileen ever thought Tyria would betray her. I think she did trust her totally. But when the chips were down...
Police secretly track down Tyria Moore and convince her to work with them.
We had agents, with Tyria Moore. We would have things that would be scripted out, the questions were written down on a piece of paper.
Aileen, I'm scared.
Ty began to say, look, they're after me. They think I did it.
They have to have seen the car.
She said, I'm not going to let them do this to you. If I have to, I will confess. And indeed she did.
I'll take care of it, all right?
There were quite a few admissions that were made that we actually used to further our belief that, yeah, no doubt she was the one involved in these murders.
Betrayed by the one person who ever really cared for her, Aileen pleads guilty, receiving 6 death sentences. She lives on death row for almost a decade. With few other friends, Aileen becomes an obsessive correspondent with childhood friend Don Botkins.
She wrote every day for 11 years, and sometimes I got 11 letters in one day. People are starting to see there was quite a human being there that nobody helped out. The state didn't help out, the neighbors didn't help out. Nobody helped out. She could have been great at anything, but everybody automatically just dissed her.
Aileen may have been denied her full potential, but so were her victims. Her misery spread to 7 families.
I was glad they got her, but I was just so full of despair and hate and fury and the thought that one person, one woman could change the life of so many people.
On October 9, 2001, Aileen is executed by lethal injection.
Anyone can be a killer. It's about making choices. She made choices to kill.
Don't look up to Aileen. Just understand why she did what she did.
She did kill in a cold-blooded fashion. But I still feel some empathy for the little girl who never had a chance.
In the criminal world, female predators are often quiet killers.
For the average woman, it takes 8.4 years before she gets caught. Yet for men, it's half that amount of time.
Calculating and methodical, they may stalk and kill for years without detection. As Dorothea Puente did, until a knock on the door of her boarding house in 1988.
She just answered the door. She was very polite, introduced ourselves. She invited us in.
Detective John Cabrera was working cold cases in Sacramento, California. A man had gone missing. His last known address was Puente's boarding house.
I just had this feeling, and it stayed with me. What I simply did was watch every move she made. I looked for all those little things that, you know, detectives look for in people to show that maybe they're trying to hide something.
In the back garden, Detective Cabrera finds suspicious mounds of dirt.
We started digging in 3 different areas. She was getting ready to put in a winter garden. We assured her that whatever we dug up, we would simply make sure it was all returned to normal.
What John uncovers that day is more than he ever imagined.
And I put my shovel in the ground, and I thought I'd snag something. With my bare hands, I started pulling on what I thought was a root. And I pulled, and finally it broke loose. There I was sitting there holding this leg bone in my hands. It was very startling.
As a younger woman, Dorothea herself had been full of surprises. With dreams of living the high life, she attempts to ingratiate herself with Sacramento society, using tall tales of her past, claiming connections to everyone from Swedish ambassadors to film star Rita Hayworth. Dorothea claims many things: that she survived Hiroshima's atom bomb, and that she's medically trained.
She pretended she was a doctor. She had false diplomas and things around. A lot of the folks in the area thought she was, in fact, a doctor.
Sacramento District Attorney and author William P. Wood came to know a very different Dorothea.
You know, I don't think the shock has died down to this day. Sacramento still knows about Dorothea Puente.
William has charted Dorothea's secret life, a life far different from the one she portrayed.
She was pretty much of an orphan at an early age, like around 9 or 10. From then on, she was raised by a succession of different kinds of folks. She was a prostitute for a while. She ran a brothel for a while. I was having her arrested, I think, about 5 or 6 times over a 4-month period.
By the time she reaches middle age, Dorothea's socialite dreams have faded. Now she is the consummate predator, preying on lonely men and stealing their Social Security checks.
She would put stupefying drugs in their drinks, and of course, when they were knocked out, she would take their Social Security check, forge it, and then cash it.
But her deceitful charm fails her when Dorothea is caught forging checks once too often. In 1982, she's convicted and sentenced to 5 years in jail. But it would only make her change strategy.
The crimes that she was sent to prison for all had living witnesses, all had living victims. The crimes that she then commits from the time she gets out of prison, there are no living victims. They're all dead. Everybody is killed in one way or the other.
Out on parole, Dorothea is eager to make a real killing. Dorothea Puente begins life full of glamorous dreams, but by middle age, the dreams haven't come true. The reality is she's a petty criminal, running a small boarding house in Sacramento, California.
Well, the people that she chose to take in were, I believe, what you might call the hard to place. A lot of them had medical problems. It was a divide between elderly and disabled.
Her warm personality charms those around her.
She was the good lady in the neighborhood. Every week she had a burrito day, and people could come and she handed out burritos.
But deep down, she is a lethal predator. When nobody else wanted them, lodgers like 64-year-old Dorothy Miller came to Dorothea. They'd often lost touch with family, were alone, and vulnerable. Dorothea may have a new career, but she keeps her old ways, spiking drinks. She uses her prescription sleeping pills, Dalmane, also known as flurazepam.
Flurazepam is a drug that's used for insomnia. It's a drug that's used frequently to cause people to go to sleep. It works by quieting down the brain activity.
As far as she was concerned, she knew they would go to sleep forever.
Just as she had before, Dorothea forges her victims' Social Security checks. But this time, no one is alive to contest them.
Dorothea's victims were street people, people living on the fringe, people who might only be known by one social worker here or there, people that no one would miss.
She was a very calculated individual. She was also a very audacious individual.
She took the opportunity to give them a nightcap, and it was a nightcap that would be the last one they ever took.
Dorothea is determined not to go back to jail. She buries the evidence in her back garden, thinking no one will notice. Dorothea's garden is becoming a boneyard. In all, 7 victims end up buried here, though neighbors never notice. But one victim would be missed. Vagrant Bert Montoya was reported missing by a social worker.
Apparently, she had been looking for him for the past 3 months and not really getting anywhere talking to Dorothea, and kept feeling like she was getting a runaround.
And that led Detective John Cabrera to Dorothea's boarding house that fateful day in 1988.
I would have never in a million years ever thought that I would be climbing into a hole to remove a tree root, and what actually it was a human leg bone. This could not be Bert. This was just simply bones.
I don't know.
Bert had only been missing for 3 months.
They had found a different victim, and there would be more.
We just slowly started to dig in various areas.
Dorothea knew her crimes would be revealed.
He asked me if she could go get a cup of coffee, that this whole thing was making her nervous. I escorted her over to a nearby hotel where she had told me she wanted to have a cup of coffee, and then I just quickly walked back over to the house and continued digging. And I put my shovel in the ground, and I thought I'd snag something. And when I pulled it up, there was another leg. First thing we thought about was, let's go get Dorothea.
But Dorothea is gone. She walks straight out the back of the hotel and catches a bus to Los Angeles.
There was a lot of embarrassment, and there was a tremendous enthusiasm to get her back in custody as fast as possible.
Police may have lost their suspect, but as they keep digging, the evidence against her is piling up.
Every day is just a day that you can't believe what you're finding. It's just body after body after body.
There were 7 victims buried at F Street itself.
And forensic testing linked them all to Dorothea's prescription sleeping pill, Dalmane.
The 7 victims had all died within 24 to 48 hours of taking a large amount of Dalmane.
But now Dorothea has been exposed as a predator. Even in Los Angeles, there is no place to hide.
She found a fairly elderly gentleman drinking in the bar in a midday during the week and struck up a conversation with him. And this gentleman saw her face on the television. He realized that, in fact, she was being sought and called the police.
Dorothea Puente is linked to 9 killings, but is found guilty on only 3 murder counts. She serves a life sentence in prison, maintaining her innocence.
She will say she's innocent of murder till the day she leaves, you know, in a bag, because that's the only way she's getting out, as far as I'm concerned.
She was able to kill over and over again and go undetected for years by appearing to be a sweet, refined, charming woman. And she was anything but.
You could not, in fact, make up the story of a female serial killer operating in the middle of the state's capital. But the fact is, this did happen. Makes fiction, frankly, look kind of pale by comparison.
It's the early 1930s at a racetrack in Cincinnati, Ohio. As the horses pass the post, a young lady in the crowd becomes anxious. She has lost once again, and her debts are mounting. But Anna Marie Hahn has a sinister way to fund her gambling addiction: murder.
I think Anna Marie was evil personified in a very soft, womanly way.
She was willing to do anything to get that money. And if it involved killing someone that had her money in their wallet, she would do it.
1929, 23-year-old Anna Hahn migrates from Germany to Cincinnati. She shamed her family by having a child out of wedlock. Cincinnati's German community, the Over-the-Rhine district, welcomes Anna. It's a welcome that will cost some of them their lives.
The more I looked at it, the more fascinating it became.
Journalist and author Diana Britt Franklin is an expert on the dark, deadly life of Anna Marie Hahn. What she's found is a woman who is the consummate predator.
She had it all. I mean, she knew how to manipulate and steal and poison.
Women who are predators have to plan very carefully. They have to study their victim. They have to try to get their victim when they are the most vulnerable.
Pressured by mounting gambling debts, Anna would stalk for victims in a local apartment block. Behind each door, there's a lonely, elderly German man. Perfect prey for Anna Hahn.
She went through an apartment building and knocked on doors asking for old men who were single.
Anna developed a scheme to get at wealthy, elderly, sick people. It was to become a nurse and to go into their homes. At that point, her predatory nature came out.
78-year-old Jacob Wagner answers that fateful knock on the door. Anna has found what she's looking for. He allows her to help with chores. Instead, she helps herself to Jacob Wagner's belongings.
She'd take a nickel as easily as a dollar. No, she would steal anything in sight.
Anna was a very dangerous woman. Nobody that was around her was really safe if they had money or property.
Within months, Jacob Wagner is dead. His money pays off Anna's gambling debts, but not for long. At the track 3 or 4 times a week, her losses mount. Anna's gambling habit is out of control.
Anna was a killer who also had an addictive personality. So anything that served her was something that was going to be repeated. For Anna, killing men and taking their money and their things served her well and became an addiction.
Anna's next target is a wealthy businessman she finds in the neighborhood, George Heiss.
Mr. Heiss was a coal dealer that she met and befriended and got very friendly with him. He would take the money he collected from his coal deliveries and give it to her.
But it's not enough for Anna. George's days are numbered. His drink is laced with arsenic, and he's paralyzed for life.
Arsenic loves to attack the endothelial cells, those that line the blood vessels. When it attacks, those blood vessels begin to leak. Leakage of blood anywhere, particularly in that very critical central or peripheral nervous system, can cause symptoms such as paralysis.
Anna didn't care. This was merely a means to an end.
She would become a compulsive predator, striking again and again in her community. A community blind to the killer living amongst them.
Yeah, all these people were dying left and right in this close-knit neighborhood, and nobody was saying a word. Eventually, somebody spoke up and said, hey, we're missing one. And they reported it to police, and police didn't believe it and didn't have any evidence to go on, and they would just slough it off.
She is getting away with murder. And the question is, what can stop her? Cincinnati in the early 1930s. A cold, methodical murderer is at work. Anna Marie Hahn is a young German migrant, driven by greed, preying on the weak and the elderly. No one realizes a killer is in their midst.
Even today, you don't suspect a woman of being a serial killer. There are not that many, and maybe there are a lot more than we think, because they're hard to detect. They're very hard to detect. Who would suspect a nice German lady like Anna Marie Hahn being a serial killer? You just would not believe it, and the police didn't either.
Anna Marie plies her deadly trade through the 1930s. A ruthless predator, she is careful, cold, and calculating.
This type of murder is not for somebody who likes to act rashly or quickly. This is for somebody who is very happy to sit back and wait till the right time and then pounce.
67-year-old George Gazelman becomes her next prey. Like the others, he's lonely and sick and agrees to be cared for by Anna. But he is being cruelly poisoned with arsenic and croton oil.
She used the croton oil to cover up the arsenic because it would flush out the system.
Croton oil is an oil that's made from the seed of the croton tree. Within minutes, this person would experience severe vomiting. It is very potent, could be very uncomfortable, and it could actually cause death if there wasn't any fluid replacement.
George Gazelman dies in his room, but not before Anna takes him for all he has.
Anna's greed was insatiable, and it certainly compelled her to commit murder. But it was also a choice that she made.
Today, Anna's murderous trail can still be found on the streets of Cincinnati. Author Diana Britt Franklin retraces the footsteps of a killer.
2150 Clifton Avenue was the home of Johann George Obendorfer. On street level is his little cobbler shop that Anna Marie walked into one day because she had broken her heel while out shopping. They fell in love, or he fell in love with her. She had other designs. Can you imagine how happy he must have been to have snared this beautiful woman? Little did he know that in 2 weeks he would be dead.
It's 1937. Anna has been killing for 4 years now. She decides to take a risk, changing her usual tactics. Leaving from Cincinnati Union Station, Anna Marie took George and her son Oscar for a vacation in Colorado Springs.
By the time they got to Denver, Mr. Obendorfer was very, very sick. She was poisoning him on the whole trip.
Within days of reaching Colorado Springs, George Obendorfer is dead. Anna takes another unusual risk. tempted by some petty theft.
Hotel owner had rooms right behind the registration desk, and Anna Marie one day walked in to those private rooms, saw some diamond rings on the dresser, and stole them. When the hotel owner realized they were missing, she filed a complaint with the police in Colorado Springs. By then, Anna Marie and Oscar had left town, left poor old Mr. Obendorfer on a slab in the morgue.
But this time, Anna has gone too far. Police are suspicious. Back in Cincinnati, they swoop on Anna's house.
They found some arsenic in the basement, a bottle of arsenic.
They find a purse with traces of the deadly poison and a salt shaker with enough arsenic to kill several hundred people.
I would call all of that the smoking gun in this case.
On August 10, 1937, Anna is arrested. The predator has become prey.
The ultimate irony with predatory killers is eventually they become so sloppy and leave clues that they fall into the sights of the police and they are stalked and they are caught.
And while Anna stealthily killed in anonymity, the horrifying details of her case stun a nation unaccustomed to serial killings.
It was a shocking, shocking case. The largest mass murder case in the country.
After 2 hours, the jury returns its verdict on the murder of Jacob Wagner. She is guilty.
What was shocking to everyone was that the jury returned a verdict of guilty without mercy.
That meant an automatic death penalty. The first woman in Ohio history to go to the electric chair. But right to the end, Anna's charm and charisma was still touching people.
The judge cried because he had to sentence Anna Marie to death. He had no choice.
A common characteristic seen in serial killers is that they're above average intelligence and they're arrogant. They truly believe they're going to get away with their crimes. They believe everyone else is stupid.
Then, on the eve of her execution, a stunning backflip. Anna sits down and writes a 20-page confession of her crimes.
Only Anna knows why she wrote those letters. Maybe she wanted to set the record straight. But for a sociopath, the greater likelihood is that she was in control till the very end.
These deadly women hunted their fellow humans, killing them for money. Aileen Wuornos hitchhiked the highways, looking for her next victim. Anna Hahn quietly stalked the old and the lonely. And Dorothea Puente led a double life, leaving a graveyard at the bottom of the garden. Once they became the prey of a predator, these victims didn't stand a chance.